Today we have with us Mr. Padmakumar Nair, the founder and CEO of Ennoventure Inc. Padmakumar has been in the industry for 2 decades now and has been leading Ennoventure from the past 6 years. Welcome, Padmakumar. It's a pleasure to have you here with us today.
Thank you, Supriya, for giving me this opportunity.
The pleasure's ours. Thank you so much. So, Ennoventure Inc. is a global leader in SaaS-based brand protection technology, right? So, I'd like to understand. We have heard of counterfeiting, of course, in other industries as well. But when it comes to the FMCG industry, it could be particularly concerning considering the nature of the products involved, right? And most of them are directly applied by the customers on the skin. So, how prevalent is counterfeiting when it comes to the FMCG industry, and why, is the industry targeted according to you?
No, because it's very easy. FMCG, look at any other industry. The name itself tells you FMCG is fast-moving consumer goods. So the products are coming to the market every 3 months. There is a production and it's hitting the market. So it's very easy for the counterfeiters also to squeeze in some of these counterfeit products because it gets consumed in quick. Whereas if you go to any other industry like automobile, for example, the product is going to be there in the market for almost a year or 2 years or 3 years. So the chances of that getting caught is also high. Whereas in FMCG, you put it, it gets consumed fast and they can go to another city and spread market. So that's why counterfeiters also enjoy this space.
So when counterfeiting is this prevalent in the industry, why is it that, FMCG brands can't do more? What are some of the specific challenges that they face in combating counterfeiting?
It's not that they are not doing anything. Every brand is actually doing. There is, in my opinion, there is not a single product out there without some security feature. But the industry, the traditional industry, this anti-counterfeit or the anti-counterfeit measures were predominantly it is provided by the printing companies or a hardware-based legacy solutions. It could be micro printing, something printing with some special ink, which you need to pass a UV ray to see that there is some special markings. So those it's all related to the printing. The challenge is brands know how to figure out whether it is genuine or fake. But you and me, who is out there in the market, we don't know which is genuine. What we see is a hologram. And the reality is hologram, you can reach out to Alibaba, they will ship whichever brand you want, they will send it to you. So hologram is very easy to count. And you and me get to see a hologram and we try to believe that this is genuine and we buy. The reality is in most countries, it's as high as 30% counterfeit.
That's a huge number. And, interestingly, on a personal note, I'd like to share that, as a consumer, like you rightly mentioned, it's very difficult for us to figure out what is authentic and what is not. I mean, I once ordered a perfume from a notable brand that I do not know, I won't take the name, but it turned out to be fake. So, in line of this, how does Ennoventure's technology address these challenges? And, especially with the rise of e-commerce, how does Ennoventure ensure the authenticity of products sold online, particularly in this space?
So, one of the things that when we started as a company, we wanted to introduce was how do we bring in a technology where, the consumers are empowered to scan whether it is genuine or fake. So our whole technology is revolving around empowering consumers. We are more of a tech company, we give it to the brands, but it's up to the brand again to decide whether they want to empower the consumers or not. But our ultimate aim is to empower the consumers. So 2-3 things that we have done, our USP is our encryption is invisible. So the counterfeiters know where to actually go change anything because it's invisible. They don't know what we have done. Second, our technology is not, you don't need a specialized scanner. Most of the good features or technology that brands are using, they need a specialized scanner, which the end consumers don't have. Our technology can be scanned using a simple app. It can be an app or it can be a simple code-based browser where it opens and scans. So we are actually trying to empower the consumers. But having said that, the consumer belongs to the brand and to the brand to decide whether we have some customers, some of our brands that we are working with, they have come on national media and come up with a full national media and how to figure out whether it is genuine or fake. And we have some brands where only few customers know or few employees within the organization know how to scan. So it's a broad spectrum. There are companies which are doing all out and some companies who are limiting it also. Now, specifically coming online, what you asked me, we have a company which has a unique problem, which is MLM company. You know how MLM works, because someone buys one below the line and it goes. So it has to go the full chain so that the people at the top earns commission, the other one earns commission. So their problem was customers are buying and putting it in online channels like Amazon or Flipkart or any of those things. So they didn't know who is putting this and breaking the channel. So they started using our technology. Now they are able to figure out who is actually putting it, because when they scan, they know, because before giving it to the distributor, they actually put our encryption. So again, it has multiple use cases. How brands are making use of it is up to the brand.
Absolutely, Padmakumar, and it's interesting that you mentioned that, because this is very, very important, right? I was going through a study which said that especially when it comes to B2C companies, just one bad experience is enough for a customer to turn away from the brand, right? And they'll shift their brand loyalty elsewhere. So what impact does counterfeit products have on consumer trust and brand loyalty, and how does Ennoventure's approach help to rebuild and maintain these crucial elements?
As per a recent study, 20% of consumers are unintentionally purchasing counterfeit goods online. Unintentionally. We think we are buying a paste or a toothpaste or a body lotion, but without us knowing, we are actually buying a counterfeit product. 20% is as per the latest study. Think of the health risk that is involved. Worldwide it is estimated that 10% of pharmaceutical products sold worldwide is counterfeit. In some countries, it's as high as 30%. We've been talking for 10 minutes now. 5 kids would have died in Africa during this period because of fake anti-malarial drug. And mind you, malaria is a curable disease. They died only because they ended up taking a fake anti-malarial. And these are known facts to a lot of companies. But again, why is it still happening? Because the traditional age-old legacy systems can be copied, because it's all print related. In a world of AI, generative AI, it's very easy for a counterfeiter to make any artwork, any packaging, and poor people end up taking a counterfeit product.
That's a very, very concerning picture that you painted there, Padmakumar, and it's all the more concerning that these counterfeiters are using Gen AI to do this. So now I'd like to understand from you, how are you using Gen AI to prevent this? Can you explain the role of AI and blockchain in Ennoventure's anti-counterfeit solutions, and how do these technologies enhance the security of FMCG products?
Biggest contribution of AI to the counterfeiters is now you don't need any specialized skill in how to design an artwork and all, because there are a lot of tools where you can just describe how you want, it will generate it for you. The counterfeiters have found a tool to generate any artwork now, any packaging easily. So they are able to reproduce the packaging very easily. So how do we overcome that? Is we add an encryption to the packaging, which is not visible to the naked eye. And then we use AI to train that in an efficient way. So I don't want to get more details on here, because, like you mentioned, counterfeiters are also ahead of it's a cat and mouse race. I mean, they are always ahead of the race. And even if there is a new company, they are also trying their best. Because I've seen, yesterday I was talking to one of my colleagues that our demo carton is being scanned in Japan and Bangladesh by someone. They're taking it, they're taking copy of that, and they're trying their level best to see what are we doing. And we are a company based out of US. We don't have customer in Japan or Bangladesh, but we have seen severe activities around these markets where people are scanning. So one good thing about our technology is we give real-time alerts. If someone scans a copy or a counterfeit, we get an alert on our dashboard that there is a lookalike that has been, or a counterfeit that has been scanned. Because we saw that, we noticed what is happening in Japan. And to our surprise, they're actually scanning our demo carton there.
That's
So
actually
counterfeiters are also ahead of the journey.
that is concerning, but thank God you have a technology that you say is, not imitatable as, easily. Thank you for
At this
sharing
point,
that.
I would say
Yeah.
at this point not imitatable, but with the technology, we also need to be ahead of the curve. We need to move fast so that there is always a catch-up game. Otherwise, they will catch up very fast.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, Padma Kumar, if I had to share my perspective as a consumer, right, for me, it would be great to know that, the brands I love are using anti-counterfeiting technologies, right? So, how can FMCG brands effectively communicate the use of anti-counterfeit measures to their customers?
Today, all the technologies that they are using, only the brands can create it. I mean, a lot of brands actually take it to their warehouse or their factory to see whether it is genuine or fake. Because they are not using some technology which you and me can also validate. The max we can think of is hologram. But again, like I said, hologram is very easy to be counterfeited. You can order from China anything. So they are not able to do that because of the same issue. It is not the technology that they are using today, end consumers cannot identify. And it's important that brands start adopting technologies with you and me also can validate whether we are buying genuine or fake.
So, lastly, Mr. Padmakumar, I'd like to go back to that point where you mentioned that, it's important for us also to evolve because, the counterfeiters are evolving. So, keeping this in mind, looking ahead, what trends do you foresee in this fight against counterfeiting in the FMCG industry, and how is Ennoventure preparing to meet these future challenges?
I mean, these are some of my view that how this world is going to change. I mean, if you look at Nike, for example, Nike used to be present in a lot of stores. They have taken a decision that they are going to be more present on online and their own stores. They are slowly moving away from multi-brand outlets to their own stores. Similarly, with a lot of innovation that's happening on the logistics front, more and more companies would move into into these online platforms and their own online platforms and their own brand outlets. The moment online comes into play, counterfeiters will, because you unintentionally buy something which could be fake. And the other challenge is after COVID, worldwide it's a trend. Everyone is moving towards an online platform. Going out and buying from somewhere is slowly dying out, and everyone is moving into that. That is again an opportunity for counterfeiters to now act. The sad part is packaging is a key element in this. It's an area where you can actually communicate with your customers, and that is where a lot of companies are doing innovation. All the innovation is being on packaging and the material is used. There is not much of research or anything that is happening using the latest technologies that are out there. One area that Ennoventure has taken. There is another company I would say is actually future. There is a company that is called Alithion in the US. They are also doing something really good. But that may not come into the FMCG space because it's more of fingerprinting. So they can identify each product by. Similarly, we need to start using the technology other than hardware and ink and design and all, because that will be copied very soon. Gen AI will enable counterfeiters to copy any of this design and all very fast. The only way is to move into use technology to counter this.
So thank you so much, Padmakumar, for this interview, right? And it was absolutely wonderful to know. I mean, while you also painted a concerning picture, right? It's also good to know that technology is being used to, stop counterfeiting, and for consumers especially, it could be a sigh of relief. Because they don't really know what is original and what is not, and it's good to know that these technologies are actually preventing counterfeiters from reaching to them. So thank you so much. I absolutely enjoyed talking to you.
I want to actually give you some more stats so that that we are all aware of the challenges that we are facing, especially few areas like take baby foods. Baby formula, you call it a baby formula because of certain ingredients and all that. But think of the counterfeit products out there. I don't want to take names. All the big names that you can think of, it is counterfeit. I'll give you my personal experience. When I had my daughter, I body lotion for her from one of the leading brands, and she developed rashes all over her body. So we thought my daughter is allergic to, or she's allergic to this lotion, and we stopped using it. Later, we figured out that we actually used a counterfeit product. So this is one. Second, WHO has officially announced that 30% of alcohol consumed globally is counterfeit. Alcohol consumed. Even to the extent that, some of the well-known duty-free shops, I don't want to take the name again, duty-free shops are actually selling counterfeit without knowing, unintentionally. Because they are also doing a tender, and somehow this actually entered that space, and they are also selling. Environmental impact, some of these products are supposed to be, but when a cheap quality product comes to that, what is the environmental impact that is happening? That is also pretty high. Cosmetics, that's something that you are actually applying on your skin. So why should a counterfeiter do? How to make it something cheap and sell it? Again, that is something that we are applying, and it's carcinogenic. You are applying your lips and other areas carcinogenic material. Luxury brands. Luxury brands is a little diverse area because some intentionally buy that. But again, 60% of luxury goods purchased online is fake. So we are living in a world where we need to be really, really careful about what we are buying. And a lot of these diseases that we have today were unknown in the past. I mean, if you ask our grandparents, they didn't even hear of any of those things. We can say that science was not there to understand that, but it's not just that. It's because of substandard or low quality items that are being used that is getting into your body also.
But on the same note, I'd like to congratulate you on the good work you're doing. I hope the good work you're doing reaches out to more people, because this is truly, FMCG is truly a sensitive area, considering, you said it, we use it on our skin, and, it could be carcinogenic. So I hope the good work that you're doing reaches out to more people. And thank you so much for this conversation. It was truly enlightening for me, and I'm sure it will be for our audience as well. Thank you so much for your time.